Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there. Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're with us here today on New Life. Joining me today, Milan Yerkovich. Hey, Milan.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I am excellent. And also, right there, Dr. Alice Benton. Hey there.
Hey, fellas. We had the first broken bone in our family that I've ever experienced in my whole life.
Wow.
Little Walter, our 2-year-old, fell off of a chair.
Oh.
So he's got a splint on now.
I'm sorry. What bone was fractured?
His wrist. Two places.
I'm so sorry.
He's tough.
That's very sad.
Oh.
Yeah. Well.
Traumatic as a mom to see that happen, too.
It was harder on me and Dad than it was on Walter.
Wow. Well, we hope he gets
Well,
better
here's
quickly.
the thing. He's got a mom, he's got a dad to help make it all better, and not everybody does. Not everybody is in that place. So we're thankful that you're there for Walter.
That's right.
And his dad's there too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're glad you're with us today here on New Life. 1-800-229-3000. No matter what is broken in your life, we want to provide some help and hope and insight into it. And if you want to join us, we're going to be in the studio for a couple hours. 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. I want to mention some things to you before we get started. Number one, I'm preaching this Sunday at Northview Church. You could hear it on Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, or 9 or 11 on Sunday at northviewchurch.us. Second thing, I went to a gathering of 8th grade parents, and a woman told us about going to see the movie that we partnered with, Overcomer. And she was talking about crying and laughing, and the woman hugging her next to her when it was over because she had gotten so emotional. She said that she absolutely loved it. And this was a movie lover who hosts an Oscar party every year. If you haven't seen it, it really is a great inspirational Christian film. So I wanted to mention that. Overcomer. It really is a powerful, powerful film for young people. Also, last Friday, I was on Focus on the Family talking about midlife crisis. And if you didn't hear it or you want to hear it, it's on our website, newlife.com. That's all the announcing that I have to do. But we do have some fun, wonderful things coming up, and I'll just mention this. Once again, I was with some people, and if they could just get their marriage to the marriage intensive, life would be different. And Milan, I had a guy talking to me about his belief that all of marriage problems result in two concepts. It is all about love and respect. And while that is true, it isn't everything. It's not, man needs respect, woman needs love. Never met a woman that didn't need respect also or love. But it's not that simple. It's beyond that. And that's really what we get into.
Well, it really is. I think simplicity is nice often to start a cursory conversation, but
yeah,
human beings are more complex than just two simple words or one simple concept. What we do in our workshop, Steve, you and I, and Kay and I, we talk about how our histories have shaped us to have reactive patterns that are counterproductive to solid relationship, and then a sanctification journey to help us grow out of those so that we're less reactive and more capable of listening and seeing other people.
If I can understand better, I can live better, I can be a better partner. That's what we're trying to help people do. Understand each other better. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come right back for more of New Life Live right after this.
God pulled me out of the gutter of my life that I was living in.
I have done a lot of work over the last 40 years,
This is the first time I've ever felt love.
I've had such a wonderful weekend here, and for the first time in a long time, I've felt at home.
And the Lord has set me free from my mother's story about me not being good enough.
The New Life Finding Freedom Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, September 20th to the 22nd.
We're going to talk about forgiveness and codependency. We're going to understand that family of origin, the unhealthy reactions to it. We're going to talk about the cycle of shame and surrender and developing the plan that moves us forward. There'll be 8 teaching sessions and 6 small group sessions.
To register or to learn more about the Finding Freedom Workshop, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
I am living a new life, and I believe that I have the resources and tools to continue that.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Back, Steve Arterburn here, Milan, Yerkovich, and Dr. Alice Benton. If you've been ordering people around, why don't you order some of the stuff that we have on our website? Resources that can help get your life.
As long as you're in an ordering mood, right?
He's talking to me, isn't he?
Order good stuff.
I can be pushy.
No, you should order that book, How to Keep Your Kids from Breaking an Arm or a Leg or something like that, you know? All right, here we go. Let's talk to Lily, Louisville, Kentucky. That's where she's calling from, and we're really happy about that. And, yeah, how are you? Lily, Louisville, WFIA,
Hi.
great station.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
What's going on?
I'm fine. Well,
Good.
So I've been thinking of talking to you guys for a while because it's a situation with my cousin. It's been going on since last year, really. I'll try to make it really short, but my family is from out of the country, and she moved to Ireland. And her husband, they've been married for 6 years, I think, and he was involved with worship at their church and everything. He was like her dream, and she has history of depression. She was abused by her stepfather. Anyway, and she went and she found him, and when she became a Christian, it was a God thing. But they moved to Ireland, and there he started drinking. And anyway, he had always had friends that were girls, and he would stop being friends with them, but not really. She would ask, but not really. And then there he started having an affair, and he got out of the house. He left her, but she had a promise from God that he was going to come back, and she was a firm believer that God is against divorce. And we were like, well, he's not really acting as a believer, so there is grounds in the Bible for you to ask for divorce, but it would be way worse for her to divorce him. And so something happened, a miracle happened where he really did come back, like 2 or 3 months ago. And whenever I called her, she was like, just pray. It's hard. And I was like, I know it is. You guys have to reconcile. And
okay, we got to get to a question here.
Yeah, so my question is, she called me today, and she is, he's still in contact with the mistress and says that he likes her, but he wants to work out with my cousin. He wants to make it work because he knows in his mind what has to work, but his heart is somewhere else. And I'm starting to get back to the maybe you should get divorced point, but we didn't get to talk a lot. My question is, what would you advise her if you were in my place, and how can I help her if either it's supposed to be divorce or if I should, if she really wants to stay married even though she's been abused. Yeah.
Hey, let's stick with what you asked there, and I'm going to ask Milan to start us off with, here's a situation where some big miracle didn't seem to clean everything up there. And so now, what is it that we would advise that she would do? I've got a little thing. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think, but I want to see if it lines up with you guys. So, Milan, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Well, good morning, Lily. first of all, I think a lot of your language is very spiritualized, and your cousins might be too. In other words, to say that it was a God thing that I met this guy, therefore it meant that God led us into a place of marriage, and evidently he wasn't quite the dream, your word, that he was supposed to be. He was a worship leader.
Yeah,
and he wasn't quite the dream. Wasn't quite the dream that your cousin imagined. Which means, there's this expression in the business world: "Let the buyer beware." Do I lift the hood and look under to see what the engine looks like, and all those kinds of things. And I think he's played his hand. I think he's shown what kind of person he is. And what I would advise your cousin is to not spiritualize this too much, but to create and to believe God's going to do a miracle. It's really hard work, and that's the miracle, is the slow work of change when people choose to do it. And I would recommend to her that she stand away from him at some distance and say, if you want me back, earn your way back into my life and show me sobriety, show me behavior that is trustworthy. And because I agree with you, she has grounds for divorce. And I would really make him earn his way back in over a period of significant time.
Alice,
yeah, they
your
were
thoughts?
apart for 6 months or so, and she did mention to him that she wanted him to change and show. And she
okay, so here, think about this. Think about this. He has an affair, and after 6 months, they're going to get back together, right?
Mm-hmm.
She mentions to him, "I'd like you to change." Do you understand what I'm saying? You rip the spiritual foundation out of our marriage, and I'm going to hint, "I'd like you to get some help." Okay, Alice, weigh in on this. What are you thinking?
Well, Lily, we appreciate that you're supporting your cousin and trying to get wisdom for her to help protect her heart.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible talks a lot about danger, running from danger, not turning a blind eye to evil, not rescuing an angry man because you're just going to have to do it again. Right. And even Jesus says, look at my actions. Believe in my actions if you can't believe my words. So the proof is going to be in the husband's actions, and the proof so far points to ongoing infidelity, even if it's an emotional infidelity. So the good news for you and your cousin is that there's a well-trod path to sobriety from serial affairs. And a book like Worthy of Her Trust outlines exactly what a wife can ask for and expect. And until she sees those signs of proof of change, even if it's as simple as he's seeing a therapist who specializes in marriages harmed by an affair.
Couples therapist, yeah.
Great. Then that's one piece, and it's just one piece. So another, maybe more obvious one, is that he has an ending conversation with all of his mistresses, any women that he's stepped out of the marriage with, and probably any female friends that he has had outside of relationship with his wife, and he shows his wife proof. This is over, and now my phone, my computer, my email, it's all open to you. All my passwords are open to you.
That was something that but pissed her off a lot, is that he would always he wouldn't let her close to his phone, and I was like, you can't do that. That's everything about him. It was like, no. And she's very patient, and she mentioned all of that.
Lily, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you because it gets tricky when you say you can't do that, as in he can't keep his phone away from her. But the ugly truth is he can, and so the power is in when she decides how much she's gonna limit her exposure to his toxic behavior, because he can choose to hide his phone from her, and that choice is a sign of what kind of man he's deciding to be right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
but how to convince her?
Okay, look, here's the thing. You can't convince her of anything, but you can tell her that based on the experience of about 8,000 people that 3 people have talked to in this situation, here's what you think would be helpful for her to understand. Okay? Number one are 2 words that I wrote down before anybody said anything. And those 2 words are stop talking. He has to stop talking to the woman that he was involved with, right?
Yes.
Okay. She needs to ask him also to stop talking to her. And she needs to just watch what he does, not listen to anything that he says. Because when you say, I want to make things work with you, but I'm going to continue to carry on and have a relationship with the person I'm not married to, you are lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no big miraculous thing has changed his heart, because heart change requires great work. And I would tell her, the only person I want to hear about you talking to is a person who specializes in sexual addiction, lust, unfaithfulness, lying, adultery, and restitution in a broken relationship. That's who he needs to be talking to. He needs to humble himself, get into a support group, work with somebody who has dealt with other people in this situation. Everything else is a big pseudo-spiritual waste of everybody's time.
Steve, don't you also think that Lily's cousin needs to be in a codependency more group? Codependent.
Yes.
She's a desperate lady, is what I perceive through this conversation. She is desperate to have connection. So she's not going to be able to individuate and differentiate from this man and be able to hold these lines and require these things if, in fact, she is desperate for the need to connect to somebody. And so that's what codependent people do. They continue to come alongside, rescue, be a part of the process, and in some ways enable by letting people off the hook too easily.
Yeah. Hey, Lily, how do you handle stress and pressure?
Me?
I'm about to give you because here's the thing. I'm just kidding with you. But you're kind of her only link to sanity, really. You know what I mean?
It has been, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
and
few
so
people know about this. She doesn't want to spread it around, and she doesn't want to even talk about it anymore.
See, she's protecting. Actually, she's probably saying, I'm just protecting myself, but she's protecting him. And truth and known truth are so powerful. But look, you really need to be able to give the very best advice possible, because you are that, her link to sanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to send you a book called Worthy of Her Trust, and you can send it on to her after you look at it. It'll have some things you'll look at it and you go, hey, look at this. This is what you ought to be talking about. Because, see, he's not worthy of her trust. He's very untrustworthy. No. And so I want you to be informed. But here's the other thing I was thinking. She won't be able to do this, but if she'd file for divorce, one of two things would happen. She'd either get his attention, or he would just go ahead and let the marriage die.
I think he would do that.
Yeah,
because
but
that's what he threatened to do before.
He's still killing it, though, see? He's still killing the marriage.
And Lily...
He's still in contact with the other person.
Lily,
go ahead,
no matter
he
what
wasn't, and then she found out today that he was.
So he's been lying to her all along. Wow, how about that miracle? What was that about? Wasn't about anything. Alice, go ahead.
Well, Lily, you have a tough weight on your shoulders, but I want you to know you're doing a fantastic job of being a loving cousin, friend, and believer. You're giving her the best you can, but it's so hard that she may not take your advice. Continue to love her, support her, pray for her, but I want to take a little bit of that responsibility off your shoulders too, because your cousin gets to choose her path, even if she chooses a path of pain.
Yeah, you want to give her the best advice, but don't feel badly when she continues down this path that she's chosen for herself. Okay? All right. Okay, so I'm going to send you Worthy of Her Trust. And I want to send you Every Man's Battle also. And, boy, I'll tell you, they're in Ireland. And if I were her, I'd be talking about coming back home for a while and getting some really healthy relationship going here. and then I could get back there. But she said, oh, wow, then he'd be free. Yeah, he is free to do what he's doing, and that is continuing to betray her trust.
Steve, what do you mean by healthy relationship back here? You mean with other women and support groups and things like that?
Yeah, just like with Lily, and then Lily could say, hey, let's go to this codependency group, and let's go to this other thing here, and let's get some counseling together, because it's really hard in Ireland maybe to find that kind of stuff there. But oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, but for her. But I'm really happy, Lily, that she's got you. Mm-hmm. I mean, you called us. You genuinely want to help her.
Yeah, way to go, Lily. That's great.
That's so important, so powerful. So really glad that you called. Uh-oh. Break time. All right. 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back.
My wife had found me out through my past and my sexual addiction since I was a small child. It really gave me the opportunity to start digging into my past, start digging into my childhood, figure out what was causing me to feel the way I was feeling. Every Man's Battle will really give you that opportunity, because all the guys there in that room are there for the exact same reason you're there. I don't want to be the reason that my kids are going to counseling. I don't want to be the reason that they begin to struggle with the same issues that I'm struggling with, and I've got to put an end to this. Yes, you can be different. God does love you. You can be forgiven for this, and there's a way out of this. But you have to acknowledge that you have to change, and that there's a problem.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to hand down something to another generation that just looks like pain and destruction. You can hand down redemption. But you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
So, okay, we're back. Oh my goodness. We're back. Steve Arterburn here, Milan, Yerkovich, and Dr. Alice Benton. Little chat there. Sometimes, things sneak out during the break. Anyway, let's talk. How about we talk with John? John's calling us all the way from Shreveport, Louisiana. John, how you doing?
Yes, how you doing this day? My question to you and to all religious people, basically, is the creator of the universe and everything in it, is he a racist? Or is they a racist?
Okay.
That's my question to you. Why I ask you this, why I ask the question, is I look at the God in the Bible and I see racist. I look at what's going on now, I see racist. And I just cannot understand how can one say that he dealing with Jesus and instead of promoting people over other people as if the creator of the universe is racist. Now, is the God of the Bible of the universe racist or what? See, I've been oppressed all my life for 72 years. I know what racism is.
Right. Do you think God is a racist? Do you think God is a racist?
And I see people doing it to me every day.
Yeah. Do you think God is a racist? Is that the point you're making here?
I'm asking you, is God racist? Because if I follow the God the way it's presented in the Bible and the way people promote other people over one another, it's racism.
John,
how is it possible that one group of people on the planet can be the only people chosen by the Creator to be the righteous people? How the hell can that be?
Oh, so you're talking about the Jewish people being chosen, the Jewish people originally being chosen as God's chosen people. I hear you. Okay, well, Milan, you want to start?
Who promoted the book? Who put the book out? Who are the people?
John, John, can you hear me? I would love to talk with you and try to answer your question. And first, I want to acknowledge, it sounds like you have a lifetime of pain of people portraying.
I don't have no pain. I'm free because I understand what y'all teaching ain't nothing but bull. It's no Creator that's racist, talking about one people over the other people, and you got people against one another.
John, when you say people have oppressed you your whole life,
I am saying, look, I'm a raised.
No, John, I'm going to try to answer your question for you, because when you see people oppressing others and you've been oppressed your whole life, we often get an image of God by how other people have treated us or how our Father treated us. And oh my goodness, my heart just cries out for you that you have been so mistreated, I believe from what you have said, that it seems like God is that way too. And what we hope is, if you listen to our show for any length of time, that our God is a God of love, and we hope we show that to you through our actions. We need loving people around us, and that's God's plan, to minister to us and to be a channel of His grace for us. And so I love that you called, actually, because I think God wants to reach out to you and to love you today by our answer, in part, to your question. Just one more thing, Steve. God's most important 2 commandments involves love, loving God and loving other people. That's what He wants for all of us, John, but so many of us fall short of that mark.
Okay, so I think here's a fundamental question that John is asking, and that is, why a chosen people if God is not a racist? So, Milan, you want to talk about that?
God created the nation of Israel, through whom He delivered all the promises to us as human beings. He promised that we would have a Messiah that would come through this group of people called Israel. And through the promise of a Messiah, the entire world could find reconciliation with God. The Messiah is God's peace offering to this entire world. And so the Jew, the Gentile, when we embrace Christ, we're all on equal footing, and God is open and willing and also calls and offers to everyone around the world. What's wonderful to see, and in church yesterday, I was surrounded by people of all ethnicities, and it was absolutely wonderful in realizing that God is a God who wants to provide redemption no matter what the race, ethnicity, or nationality is of a person.
So God, through the Jewish population or race, provided Jesus.
Right.
And once Jesus came, it was really clear God's not a respecter of persons, not a respecter of race, position, or anything. There was reconciliation. I think proof of how difficult the race issue is that the African American race and the Jewish race both have been so mistreated and so just maligned throughout history, and yet you see them often attacking each other, whereas you'd think, man, they'd come alongside each other and be the biggest advocates for each other. But we have this thing in this world that explains everything. Evil. Evil. When it doesn't make sense, then you have to say, okay, now where's the evil here? The evil is that Satan uses everything and anything.
Most of my life I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You are a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in the biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. I'll tell you, it is a complex issue, the issue of racism. And I want to tell you something. If you look at two things that Jesus told us to do, he said, follow me. He said that throughout Scripture. And then you could boil down the main teaching to loving well. Love God well, love others well. There's no room for racism in loving well. Mm-mm. It's not loving well unless you are, you're the no, it's just, we got to love people and we got to love God well. And when we have something that stands in the way of us loving well, go get that taken care of. And that's why we started, and that's why we do this amazing intensive called Finding Freedom. If you've got something in your life, it's an obsession, a compulsion, maybe there's shame, perhaps you just can't relate to other people. Finding Freedom is the thing that we created to get rid of that so you can love well. And we're going to be doing that September the 20th in Dallas, Texas. What is it? What's holding you back? What is it the thing, I ought to do something about that, you never have? Finding Freedom. You call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll help you like we've helped thousands of other people get free. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Speaking of free, Larry Sonnenberg, we don't get to do this radio program for free, do we?
No, we don't. And it's funny you say that because we've been encouraging folks to give to Club New Life, to join Club New Life, help us with monthly giving. In the long run, that's the most important thing I think we can be asking. But in the short run, I was talking with Diane Gresham, our finance director today, and if we don't get a bump here this last week of the month, we're going to end up about $25,000 short than what we're projecting. So I'm here to just encourage folks, if you can make an extra gift this month, if you can make a gift whatever size, it'll all add up, and that will just help us do what we need to do to keep the things going that are helping people find a different life. That's Larry, our purpose.
Larry.
Yeah.
If you said 25 million, that's a lot. That's impossible. 25,000 is still a lot, but it doesn't take a large portion of our audience coming together to get that taken care of. That's doable.
Yeah, you're right. And we've seen it happen before, and it's so easy for people to say somebody else can do that, or that's not my day-to-day. I'm just encouraging you today probably is your day. If you would just stop, and maybe it's a first-time gift. Maybe you've never given before. Well, stop, pull the car over, call us up, say you want to help. We'd appreciate that.
And
actually, pull the car over, then stop.
Yeah,
and
true.
Call. Yeah,
I think that's good.
I recommend that better.
We need your help. 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and you call us, and we'll say thank you. And the way we're going to say thank you this month, Larry, is I forgot. How are we saying thank you? Oh, it's Take Your Life Back, day-by-day devotional, 365-day devotional.
Steve, short testimony.
Yes. All right.
Lady writes in, New Life saved our marriage. My husband was arrested for attempting to pick up a prostitute. If I had not had many hours listening to all your teachings on porn addiction, I would have left screaming. I know I would have hit the roof. Instead, I stayed calm. I recommended Every Man's Battle. He went, came home incredibly repentant. It's been several years without a slip. I had already started supporting you financially, but after the amazing change in my husband, we decided to become Club New Life members.
Wow.
Now, it's just
what a praise.
So thank you, everybody who has supported the ministry to allow that lady to hear this radio program all those years.
Amen.
I don't think there is not, I'm going to go from I don't think to there is not another radio show on the air that does what we do, where we help people talk about real live issues that affect their life.
Every day you pick, you get to choose what we're going to talk about because it is real life. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Thank you, Larry.
Yep.
Okay, appreciate it. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you can help us, it's also the number to call if you need help. If you want to be on the radio program, we'll be here another hour after this. 1-800-229-3000. And I'm going to go to Ann. She's calling from Pensacola, Florida. Great place to be calling from. WEGN. Hi, Ann. Welcome to New Life.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Glad you called.
Can you hear
How
me?
could we help? Yes, sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I've had recurring problems with depression and recently started on medication again. I also have problems with hoarding, and I really want to change and get better, overcome these issues.
I'm so sorry, Ann.
Have you ever gone a long time and getting counseling from one specific person that helped or not?
Not for a long time. I've had counseling at different times over the years, but right now I'm just doing group counseling once a week for depression.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Alice, why don't you get us started here? I'm so glad that you called, Ann, because it's so tough to, well, one, be depressed, but then to know that you're a hoarder and then not, be able to just fix that. It's just so difficult. What are you thinking, Alice, as we get started?
And it makes me wonder about the very hurtful things you have been through in your life, because we all find ways to cope with pain and keeping objects, hoarding, not being able to get rid of things. It's one of the ways that we cope with the pain that is just unbearable. Does that fit for you?
Yes.
Yes. So group is a great start, and I think I heard some tears in your voice as you were expressing your problem to us. And I hope that within that group you really reveal what you're struggling with, because something that can keep us so stuck and hidden, even in a group therapy setting, is shame and embarrassment. And when we get okay, this is resonating with you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When we can pull that cover off and begin to get brutally honest, as you're doing in this phone call, that's when grace can seep in through other people in order to strengthen us, to give us what we don't have on our own. And part of that is the revelation to others, and another piece is processing that immense pain that you have been through.
Okay.
So what is it that we could help? I mean, she's gotten help before, she's in group. What is it that we might be able to say to her that might have an impact that others haven't ever said to her before?
Well, in my answer to that is perfectly aligned with Alice, but there are a lot of counselors that focus on cognitive behavioral therapy, and that is good because we have to think of things and change our behaviors and vice versa. But what Alice was talking about was historical pain. And to find someone who would explore, and because you might not even be familiar with all of the historical pain in your past, but I believe that hoarding is an anxiety disorder that is very much set up by our history. The pain that is there and the inability we hold on to things, as Alice said. So find a counselor that will help you explore your history and talk to you about trauma, and it would be a trauma type of an expert who could walk through, and someone understands attachment as well, and could help you walk through your entire history of what was your experience with your parents, your caregivers, your siblings, and what happened in that entire sequence of training of Anne and hurts and harms.
Yeah, and I don't want...
Not all counselors do that, by the way.
No. I think you're doing something that a lot of people struggle to do, and that is you're working in a group, and even though you have Shane, you're getting this group help, and I don't want to discount that at all. But I really do think what Milan's talking about here and what Alice is talking about, I think you need some private individual counseling where you can just focus on you. That, you know, there's sometimes there's some things that they don't even come up. They don't even come to the surface out of anxiety or fear that once we say it out loud, it's just going to be so big, I'm not going to be able to contain it. I'll get carried away with the pain or whatever. And I just think you need a great counselor to help you in privacy for the first time, maybe talk about some things that have never been talked about before or are difficult to talk about in front of other people. To me, that's kind of the beginning of freedom from the hoarding and the depression.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Columbus, Ohio, October 25th to the 27th.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Yerkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship, and then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or go to newlife.com.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Last year, after Every Man's Battle, I was so moved by the transformation that I saw, not only in myself, but in the guys in our small group and the other people that were there and the stories that I heard, that I decided to go ahead and join Club New Life as a contributor to that.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
You guys are doing God's work here. You're restoring marriages. You're giving people hope. It's just been such a blessing to me, and I just wanted to encourage you all. When you see something good that God's doing, just jump on that and help support that.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433.
Give your support to them if you can, and just help them do what God's doing here in the world.
Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here. Really glad you're with us here today, and we're talking here with Ann, and she's depressed and in group and on meds. Alice, you had a couple of things that might be helpful here.
And one is to go back to your group if they are safe. Ask them all to take a photo of some of the mess in their house and bring it in and share it with you. When we know that we're not alone in our struggles, it really can relieve some of the tension. Mm-hmm. And two other practical steps. One is to pick the smallest area in your house to make a little space in, whether it's just a bedside table, and that's all you do is take a couple of minutes to work on it. And even that can be overwhelming. When I'm working on projects that overwhelm me, I cut it down into the smallest chunk of time that I can stand to work on it. Sometimes all I can do is 15 minutes. Sometimes all I can do is 5 minutes. Apply the smallest chunk of time you can to a very small area of your house, because when we start to see progress, it multiplies, and then we can make more progress with the support of those healthy, safe people in your life.
Okay, I have one other idea.
Okay.
Because shame is such a powerful component here, for Ann to take one of those safest people in her group and invite them over to her house to see her house, or at least see one room, and then just ask for prayer.
And if all you can do is let that person up to your front door, and you can't even let them in yet, good
idea. It's just a gradual progression of exposing. You know what I tell people all the time is the very thing that harms and hurts us the most can be our ministry in the future, which means we have to reveal it. But shame is very much healed when we start telling the very thing we're ashamed of, and we're the exposer of it, and not others.
Ann? You still there? Maybe Ann is not there, but if she is or she listens later, I just want to say this one non-shaming thing. 2 of the therapists that I think are the best at advising people and counseling people have a hoarder in their home that they've been unable to help. And one is a hoarder, but it doesn't discount the rest of their life. So what am I saying to you? You're not alone, and you're not stupid, and you're not evil, and you're not second class or second rate. You're human. And this is what you've got. And if you will take an aggressive approach to dealing with it, let us find a therapist that really specializes in this. So hold on. Maybe we can give you some help that you haven't been getting. All right, I've got one time. If you hold on, we'll get you in the next program. I've got time for this final call here with Dale from Dallas. Dale, I don't have a lot of time, but I did want to get to your call. How can we help you today? What's going on?
Well, the deal is I have struggled for many years, just basically terrified that God won't forgive me for the sins in my life, and there've been some pretty grave sins. Everybody around me thinks I've got it all together, and I'm always encouraging everybody else, but inside it's just almost panic and terror. I feel like I've gone too far.
Okay. So what is it, just give us an example, that makes you think this was too severe for Christ dying on the cross to cover? What are we talking about here? Is it killing someone? Is it... What are you talking about?
Nothing like that. No, just
okay.
I'm a guy, and I struggle with guy stuff and pornography and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I can't seem to shake it.
Okay. Now, here's the question: what if the problem wasn't pornography, but it was humility? Being able to humble yourself to the point where you say, "I got to go get some help." Because a lot of guys struggle with pornography, And a lot of guys go get it taken care of, but you haven't. Now, why is it that you haven't said, I qualify for needing to get some help beyond trying harder? Why is that?
Well, the reason is I've tried before and paid dearly for it.
Okay. You've never gone to Every Man's Battle, I'm assuming, right?
Not that in particular, no.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hate the answer to be a workshop, but that is the thing that people, when they finally say, okay, I'm done with this, that's what the guys that have the most success that I know of do. They go there.
And Dale, when we're fighting against an addiction, part of that process of gaining and maintaining sobriety, it often includes lapses and relapses, but it's how we handle them. It's whether or not we start to fail better and how quickly we go back to the help that we need when we fail. We're all going to keep failing, but what do you do with the failure? Do you let it call you closer into God and closer into people that can love you and help you? We're so proud that you're making this call, Dale. This is incredibly difficult to make. Don't give up when you fail. Keep coming back for our help.
Milan, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, I do, Dale in Dallas. Did I hear you say that you're terrified that God won't forgive you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually heard that from a preacher.
Okay. So, but I want to ask you a question. If you look back into your history, were you ever terrified in any way by your parents, or were you terrified and questioning your standing with mom and dad ever?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is something we all do, which we take our human experience and then we project that on vertically. We take our horizontal human experience and we project that onto God, and we assume, or we live as though God is like our parents.
Yep.
So if I were you, I would do work on grief. I would do work with a professional counselor on learning to face your past and grieve the trauma of your history.
Okay, I'm really glad that you called. I'm going to send you Every Man's Battle. I'm going to invite you to the workshop. You guys, there is just no reason to continue to struggle with this. There's tremendous hope and tremendous help if you'll just let us do it. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. The next Every Man's Battle is in September. You can come. You can get it taken care of, and I hope that you will. I want to mention a couple of things. Milan and I are doing the marriage workshop with his wife, Kay, and that's going to be coming right up, and it's near me. It's in Columbus, Ohio on October the 25th. Our 12 Steps to Happier conference, that's not a workshop. It's not an intensive. It's the 5th of October in Irvine. Finding Freedom, as I said, September the 20th, and Every Man's Battle, September the 13th, is in Houston, Texas. Milan and I are also doing something where our wives will be there too. It's the New Life Ministries, and we take a trip every year, and in 2020, we're going on a river cruise from Amsterdam all the way to Basel, Switzerland. Now, we do this every year. We don't use ministry funds, but we use this to raise money for New Life and the radio program. And we're going to be in Amsterdam, Cologne, Germany, the Rhine Gorge, Strasbourg, France, all sorts of places we'll see, and along the way, teaching that we hope you'll never forget. We hope and pray that if you want to come and join us for something amazing, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now, the program we're about to start, 1-800-229-3000. You can join us for that. If you need help, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'm going to see you right here tomorrow. God bless you.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.